Futures trading involves risk and is not suitable for all investors. Content provided in this segment is meant for educational purposes and is not a solicitation to buy or sell commodities.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tech Talk. I am Cody. He is Andy. It is June 6, 2024, Thursday afternoon right now.
Thursday afternoon. Soon to be Tuesday, I think, next week. We're making a little switcheroo. Is that right?
Paige said we got to make a switch. We're going to Tuesdays.
No, switcheroo, Tuesday. So mark your calendar, Tuesday, Tech Talk, be there. It's not like the old days where you had to be in front of your TV to watch the show at 8 p.m. when it came on Monday night or Tuesday night or something. It's just these days, they just don't have any, there's no idea what's going on. There's no streaming. It's crazy.
Back in the old days, the good old days.
The good old days, right. Saturday morning cartoons and stuff like that. Bring that back.
So I would love it.
That's it. Got Tech Talk off.
Got it.
We're going back to Saturday morning cartoons. How's everything else going?
It's going, man. Getting hot out there, getting a little warm throughout the country, it seems like. We're only at the beginning of June, and there's some people posting some 90-degree temperatures.
It's very standard to just start randomly talking about the weather, by the way. Here's what we should talk about. Cicadas. Do you have any?
I don't. After I moved out of Chicago,
I never heard any cicadas?
I'd never heard another cicada in my life. When I moved to Chicago, I didn't know what that buzzing was until I think Pete told me what they were.
Okay.
The bugs. I had no idea.
Come on by. We got one or two floating around. They're everywhere. It's crazy. This is it. This is the year of cicadas or something like that. I'll send a couple pictures on here. I don't know. Do cicadas impact milk production? I guess not. They seem to be localized here. I don't know what's going on with them, but they're everywhere.
It's only a Chicago thing.
Only by you, not affecting anybody.
Never heard of cicada here in Michigan in my life.
Never heard one in life. What about cheese? Have you heard about cheese?
Heard about some cheese.
Heard about some cheese. What do you think here, boss? I think this was the little Gaparooski that you had there last time.
I think so. Here's a question, though. What that gap's at? We're at $1.90 cheese right now. The gap is at $1.84, $1.85.
Yes, sir.
Do you think we fill that?
I think it's possible to go fill this one. This guy. This one, though, I'm not so sure. I don't think we go and fill this one. This one, though, I think we can. I don't know. It just seems like you're starting to see some more, more sell side in the barrel. It's something that's been somewhat kind of lacking here. Barrel got way over the block. And now you're starting to see some more sellers show up. Had a little bit of a fight today, right? I mean, the barrel did settle a penny higher after trading 11 loads. I just get the sense, especially heading into the summer months, milk doesn't seem like it's overly abundant. Doesn't seem like domestic demand's all that great. But exports, we saw some pretty solid export numbers today. To me, it seems like we could just have a little bit of a setback, retrace some of this, then go fill this gap. Maybe not this one, though.
Speaking of the block and barrel, we were kind of narrowing that gap of the barrel being over the block, and after today, we widened it yet again.
Let's take a quick little peek ski at that thing. So block barrel, right? Is that right?
Block barrel.
Block minus barrel, there it is.
Yep.
So we were looking at it when it was way out. It started to get kind of nasty. It didn't go back to some of those previous lows, but it was certainly pretty wide. I mean, this chart, I guess if you just want to look at this one real fast, if this starts to break out, it's at least looking like it's got some room to go test back in here, which should be more what is that? Call it a nickel over?
Historically, block is over barrel by what, 3.5, 4 cents?
Usually 3 to 4 cents, yeah. But going back historically, look at all this volatility we've seen here lately. But going back to the cheese real fast, I think you and I are in agreement. We're looking for the barrel to come down, right, to fill that gap potentially. Do you think the block comes down too?
I don't think the block comes down. Not very much. So if we were to fill that gap, what is that? $1.83. Okay, so block's already at $1.84.5 right now. I just don't see the block coming down that much, maybe slightly, but...
So you're a block lover, barrel hater right now?
After today's session, I don't even know if I'm a barrel hater, to be completely honest.
You're not hating anything. All love for Cody right now. That's it.
I think it'll be a quick trip. It'll be a 1-2 day kind of drop, fall apart, which is only 5-7 cents away from it right now. And then we take the price of cheese back higher just to fill that gap. Personal opinion.
Fair enough.
The amount of cheese that we even traded today was surprising to me.
I was surprised too. I will certainly admit to the same. I was a little bit surprised to see buyers get a little bit more aggressive in the barrel and be willing to take on 11 loads is 11 loads.
Yeah.
And we've seen days where we traded 20 plus, right? But this is still quite a bit of cheese to trade hands at where barrels premium like this. And so we'll see.
The buyers just weren't there yesterday, and all of a sudden they just came back in droves today.
I agree that we need to step back. I think we got to fill that gap. I think you got to get ready. If you're short, get out and look to start getting a little bit long.
Yeah, agreed.
So this will be a little bit of a dicey one, though. It's cheese market. It's whipping around. What else is whipping around? This came at request, didn't it?
It did. Our good friend, colleague, Bryce.
Shout out to Bryce. This is natural gas, not the gas that comes out of, the backside. This is nat gas here. So I don't know. What do you think here, boss?
Well, we just closed above the 20-day moving average today, which is looking a little bit more bullish than it was. Hold on. We closed above the 100-day moving average today.
That was the 100. So
yeah,
for all those viewers out there, let me put that bad boy back in. You willing to look at the 20-day? Is that right?
I was just looking now. We actually were over the 100, so either one.
All right, so that's the 20-day. Okay, so lucky 7, 2777. Look at that. That's what that thing closed at. That's interesting. I mean, like when you look at this candle right here, engulfed and then closed above it, it's kind of like a megaphone almost. They traditionally kind of get wider like this. And as that volatility increases, it's a prelude to like a breakout, right? In this case, the breakout appears to be to the upside. So to your point, you got 777, lucky 7, and a breakout. That looks good.
It does. Looks bullish.
In the weekly, this is the weekly. That's looking pretty good too. I mean, you had a nice little W. Would like to have seen it get up into here to call it a W, but I mean, it's still a double bottom. This looks like it's got to at least go trade up into this noise, $3.
That is correct.
So what are you doing? You buying some nat gas? You gonna put it away?
Yeah, we have broken out of, we were kind of in a lull there for a little bit between February and May. We didn't really move a whole lot, and all of a sudden got a little bit more perky here.
Got a little perky.
Looking expensive. Watch out.
How do you like to spell perky, by the way? What's your spelling of perky?
Perky.
Okay. I heard somebody spell it Purky the other day, and I was kind of like,
yeah.
But it's like they were like saying, because it's like a cat purrs, but it's like Purr.
Okay. Take your word for it.
You can take my word for it, or you can get a cat already. I mean, like...
I'll take your word for it.
Okay, not even like a hamster or something like that? You have like a hamster in the background, and it's like the little wheel and stuff like that, and it's just... You could get 2 hamsters, name one tack and one talk. I think that would be pretty sweet.
Oh my gosh.
So, all right, so we're buying that gas. That looks good. Last one. This also came at request, right?
This did. I think we looked at this before. We looked at July week a couple weeks ago. Brandon was asking about 5-wave Elliott theories, and we were talking about how this actually played out to a 5-wave Elliott theory. And then, if you would have held on for 4 days, you would have been wrong, but still played out.
Well, let's just play this out. So you had 1, 2. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, right? Is this wave 3 right here? It should be about an initial 20 to 30% bigger than this one.
Oh, see, I had mine drawn different.
You take this guy and lay it on top. It's an additional 20 to 30%. You probably actually go like that, right? And so then let's take this bad boy back down, right? And then you take, this is wave 4, and then wave 5 is almost always, considered like the exhaustion wave, right? The market is difficult to find like new buyers to get long after that whole move, and people that are starting to blow out, and you start to see open. I haven't looked at open interest for weekly. If it was declining, it would certainly add to that argument. But then you also had a clear break through this trend and then followed up with an open lower. And you started to lose quite a bit of momentum. If you look here, you also got overbought and came back down. So there was quite a bit that was kind of giving you some warning signs, right? And if you just look at that open right there, right? So it's not the close through it, it's the open the next day, supplemented with clear weakness in some of these secondary stuff too.
Here's my question on this, because I had mine drawn differently and it actually played out exactly to a T. So I had the first wave, which you have there.
Hang on. You should share your screen.
All right. So this is still July week. So here was my wave 1.
Okay. Wait a minute. You said you already drew them.
Well, and then I deleted them.
Okay.
I swear to you, I had these drawn.
All right. I'll take your word for it.
Here's number 2.
Okay.
Here is number 3.
Okay.
Now, here's where you and I differ. Here's number 4 for me.
Okay.
And this was number 5. So if selling orders at 689, call it, right, get filled, we break promptly for the next 4 days, looking just like an Elliott wave theory should, right?
Yeah.
Then you get down to here, and we promptly take ourselves back higher. So here's my question to you. You had it drawn 1, 2, 3. Why did you skip out on this little break in the middle here?
Because the third wave should always be the biggest.
Right. So if I take this third wave and I overlay it, it's the same thing, right?
Yeah. So you take that same line and compare it against your first one. It's smaller.
I see what you're saying.
So
even though we broke, you're still considering that part of the third.
Again, it's all theory, right? I mean, who knows? Traditionally, like the third one should be the biggest one and should be anywhere from 20 to 30% bigger, right? And so you take the first line and add, if you get like a specific amount of like movement, right? And you can just take that spread and just multiply it by like 1.25, 1.3 or something like that. And you get what that next one should be.
Okay. So no matter what, the third leg should always be, in theory.
Usually, yeah. But hey, look, it went right to your lines. So I'm not gonna say, I'm not gonna say anything about it.
I was feeling like a genius for about 4 days in a row.
And who says you aren't a genius? I mean, like, come on. Like,
but then it promptly, within 1 day, retraced all of week. So
either way, like depending on how you want to look at it, that whole theory played out.
Yeah.
Right. If you subscribe more to the idea that the third wave should be the 130% versus wave one, it broke through that uptrend pretty aggressively, though.
It did. So going back to 50% retracement then?
This looks like it wants to do more personally, but I hear what you're saying. I mean, you could run into some traffic here, but like how aggressive it's rolling over. And it seems like you've got the RSI and momentum pulled up too.
Yeah.
You've got some room on that RSI to continue to break. My gut is that this thing just keeps rolling over with how aggressive some of these candles have been.
Okay. Well, it's a good learning opportunity because I had mine drawn differently than you. And that's why I wanted to ask if I was just completely out of the wrong doing that.
Here's a thought. What if you got like a giant parrot and named him like Elliot or Wave, and only like Paige and I would know and all of our loyal viewers?
I don't know how I feel about pets.
I've heard parrots are really cool. Like,
I'm sure they are. You
get like a toucan or something like that with those like big bills.
Beaks,
bills, whatever. I mean, I don't know. Just get an animal, will you?
I had 3 fish once. They died.
I was going to say, you answered my question, my friend. I was going to say, how'd that go?
I was changing their water to clean. My brother bought them for me when I moved back here as a joke, and I was cleaning their water, and the water was too hot when I put them back in.
Boiled them?
Cooked them, all 3.
Remind me not to be a guest at your house. I'll stay in a hotel or something like that. Feel free to, like, you could swing by my house.
Nah.
I'll stay at the hotel. I don't need to get cooked alive or whatever they got going on over there.
Just a little bit too hot there. All right. Well, appreciate the insights on that, and appreciate Brandon and Bryce reaching out with their 2 requests.
B&B,
double B. So we have for Tech Talk today, everyone. We appreciate you tuning in. If you have not, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. We're still trying to get to 10,000 subscribers. I think we're getting closer by the day. If I'm not mistaken, we're only a few away right now. So if you would, please help us get to that end goal by December 30th. We would be eternally grateful for everyone.
Eternally grateful.
Speaking of eternally grateful, we'd like to be giving a shout out to Paige and Lexi, as we are eternally grateful for their wisdom on how we should move forward with Tech Talk.
Their wise wisdom.
Well, they usually tell us what to do and don't do before the shows. So
I know what I'm not doing. I'm not sending you any fish. Like, that's for sure.
Don't send me any fish. I don't care. Don't need them.
Don't send him any fish, or you don't even know where to put them. Got them on the couch or something like that, just hanging out. Why are these fish flopping around on the couch?
All right, everybody. With that,
next episode, Cody gets Botox. So we'll see.
We'll see you next time.
See you later.